Welcome into another edition of the Spirit of the Hawk. My name is Jason Longshore. This podcast covers everything Defensa y Justicia in Argentina. We have a domestic league calendar in front of us for Defensa. Also have a huge match in the Copa Libertadores to get into. But we got to start with what was a disappointing day for Defensa y Justicia in Ecuador against Delfín. Defensa lost 3-0 in match day 5 of the Copa Libertadores. This was an opportunity with a win to clinch a spot in the knockout round. So now everything comes down to the last match day. Defensa is headed to Brazil to face the group winners Santos, who have already clinched their spot. They've already clinched the top of the group. Olimpia hosts Delfín in Paraguay. Defensa y Justicia is on 6 points. Olimpia is on 5. Delfín is on 4. Everybody's still alive for that last spot to go into the knockout round. Defensa has clinched, at a minimum, a spot in the Copa Sudamericana going forward. They missed this opportunity with a 3-0 loss to Delfín. It was one of those nights that's just incredibly frustrating because Defensa y Justicia had 68% of the possession, 9 shots on target, but they got killed on the counterattack. Jana Caroso opened the scoring for the host, a 12th minute golazo on the break. And after a little bit of a wobble, Defensa played well the rest of the first half. They're dominating, especially late in the first half, early in the second half. They could not find an equalizer. Eventually, Defensa y Justicia wore down a bit. Jose Valencia for Delfín scored in the 72nd. Carlos Garces scored in the 75th. It got worse. Nestor Breitenbruch got a red card in the 91st minute, so he's out for the match against Santos. It was an incredibly frustrating night in Ecuador. So for Defensa, they have to go to Brazil, and it's a tough one to call because it would be an upset if Defensa gets a win against Santos when you look at the two teams on paper. However, Santos is in a difficult spot in the Brasileiro. They've gone 2-1-1 since their last Libertadores match. They're in 6th place in the Brasileiro, 7 points off of the first place spot. Atlético Mineiro sitting at the lead position of the table. They play on Saturday. That would be tomorrow against Coritiba, who is currently in 16th place. That could be 3 points for Santos, you would expect. Then they play Defensa next week. Then they have another league match where they're chasing first place. They've already clinched first place in the Libertadores. There's a very good chance that Santos comes in with a reserve lineup in this match. That will only help Defensa as they go to Brazil and have to get a historic result against a historic club in Santos. Players to watch if they perform in the Libertadores match against Defensa. Marinho has been the man for Santos. I don't know if he will play in this match. He's got 2 goals in the Libertadores. More importantly, he's got 10 in the Brasileiro. He scored 4 goals in his last 3 games. At 30 years old, maybe you manage the minutes a little bit for him. Caio Jorge also has 2 goals in the Libertadores. He is another player to keep an eye on. Hernan Crespo has been very clear in talking about his belief in his young squad, and he has the belief that they can go to Brazil and get that necessary win to advance. They do control their own destiny here, because if Defensa y Justicia goes to Brazil and wins, they've got second place. They're going into the knockout rounds. They could also advance if both matches end in draws. Then everybody would stay in the same positions. There are other result combinations that could also see them advance. A draw and a Delfín win, for example. Then you're coming down to goal differential, and things can get a little interesting. All right. The big match is going to be Tuesday, October 20th. It is at 6:15 Atlanta time, U.S. Eastern time. It's going to be on BN Sports. You can also watch on Fanatis in the United States if you don't have BN through your cable or satellite provider. FNTZ.co/soccerdown. Here is our affiliate code. You can sign up for a free 7-day trial. You can also subscribe. Both help Soccer Down here as a network. Fanatis has been my way to keep up with the Libertadores. If you want to get in on these last match days where there's a lot of drama across the competition, Fanatis is the way to go to watch on BN Sports. So your preparation for this big match. Remember, the league is not underway yet, and we'll get into how the format is going to go here in a second. Last Saturday, Defensa y Justicia defeated Gimnasia 1-0 in a friendly match. Brian Romero scored the goal for Defensa. Cross from Rios came short to Merentiel. He passed to Romero at the top of the sixth. Romero beats the goalkeeper. It was a difficult match for Defensa. Gimnasia played very well. Probably deserved a result according to the reports. Outside of that friendly, you do have some good news. Washington Camacho has returned to the group. He has tested negative for coronavirus. A positive test took him out of that trip to face Delfín. He will be a very welcome addition back to the squad ahead of the match against Santos. Adonis Frias, Jorge Rodriguez, Eugenio Isnaldo, all recovering from injuries. All are expected back in full training, and all are expected to be in contention for the lineup for that match in Brazil. One player who will not be is Mauricio Duarte. He has a meniscus injury in his left knee. It will require surgery. He's going to miss at least 8 weeks while he is recovering from that. He could be back by the end of the Copa de la Liga Profesional de Fútbol. This is the new competition domestically in Argentina that will start on October 30th. The draw was today for the groups. Defensa will be in a group with Independiente, Colón, and Central Córdoba. First match will be on Halloween weekend. We don't know what days and times just yet. It'll be on the weekend of October 30th against Colón. The way this is going to go, 6 groups of 4 teams. You're playing a double round robin. So Defensa will play Independiente, Colón, and Central Córdoba home and away for 6 matches. The top 2 in each group will go into the Campeón de Copa 2020 phase, while the bottom 2 go into the Complementación de Copa 2020 phase, like a kind of like a complementary phase, an opportunity to still play matches, and there is something on the line for that second phase as well. Those secondary phases will divide the 12 teams into 2 groups of 6. You're only going to play each other team 1 time. The 2 group winners of that Campeón de Copa phase will play in a final at a neutral site for a berth in the 2021 Copa Libertadores. The winner of the Complementación phase will play the loser of the Campeón championship match. That'll be in a neutral venue. The winner of that match will get a berth in the 2022 Copa Sudamericana. And this doesn't really affect Defensa, but it's been a bit of a controversial element to this. These results, this is not considered a league. This is going to be considered the equivalent of a national cup. And these results will not factor into the promedios, the promotion and relegation system. Gimnasia is a team that a lot of people have looked at as one that has tried to stave off relegation. Diego Maradona as their manager. Maybe some conspiracy theories are out there that the Liga Profesional de Fútbol does not want Diego Maradona's team to get relegated. The Copa de la Superliga that was cut short after 1 week of play due to the coronavirus outbreak, those matches would have counted in the promedios. These will not. There will not be relegation this year from the top flight, the Liga Profesional de Fútbol. Can't wait to get to this match on Tuesday for Defensa in Brazil against Santos. Things have fallen, even with the poor result in Ecuador, into a good spot where you're playing a team that has already clinched their berth. They don't have a lot to play for. They have a very crowded schedule in Brazil and a very difficult schedule in Brazil. They need points in Brazilian play. Would not be surprised to see a reserve-heavy lineup from Santos. Defensa has to take full advantage. Then it's not going to be long until you get in to the Copa de la Liga Profesional de Fútbol, and domestic play will return to Argentina. It's been over 200 days since domestic play has gone on in the country. Longest break ever since the start of the league format, the league structure in Argentina. It will be back on October 30th. Can't wait for that. Can't wait for the Libertadores. Thanks to everybody who has listened. Thanks to everybody who has spread the word. Thanks to all of our new Argentine friends and Defensa followers. Excited to see this one go down. Hopefully you guys will watch. We will have an update for you late next week after the Libertadores match with how things went and how things look ahead of the start of the Copa. Gracias. We'll see you guys soon.